I was student teaching, and I think it was the YMCA in Harrisville where I first heard about CDC. They suggested that I look into that because of the funding, and got my youngest daughter in here at this building, and she was with Miss Megan, and Miss Megan was amazing. And so my youngest daughter, Cecilia, she's emotionally a little stunted, so she had a little bit of an issue kind of with other kids and being away from me for the first time. So she was about 4 at the time. And Megan was amazing, and she's very smart, Cecilia, so Megan always had like extra work for her to do and really taught her. She was sort of teaching herself how to read, but Megan stepped in and taught her how to read and her whole alphabet and writing curriculum, which I thought was amazing. So Cecilia was very entertained while she was here, and I could see her grow educationally from probably the first couple weeks. I've never left my children with anyone before, and I was so comfortable leaving them here, coming in and unlocking the door every day, and just basically handing her off to Megan in the morning. So it was pretty easy to do for someone who was pretty afraid to let their child be with another adult or anybody.
Our oldest was already attending CDC in the RAP program when she was very young, like kindergarten. So it seemed like an easy transition for us to put our youngest in shortly after she was born. As challenging as that was, she was just about 2 months old, I think, when she started at CDC. And about the same time, we had 2 4- and 5-year-old boys that were in the pre-K counts program. What struck me most was the patience, I think, with my oldest boy, who is mildly autistic, and just that he, at that age, it was a confusing time for him. And instead of people being judgmental or trying to control him, he found his niche through that program. And it made a lot of sense for us to keep the kids in there up until very recently, so almost 13 years. There was never a hesitation for us to leave our kids here. It was like an extension of our own family, I think. Yeah. To have the warm welcome when they came in the room, we always, took the kids to the rooms, and there was always a warm welcome for them, and never really that hesitation. Like the first day of kindergarten, that kind of uncomfortable feeling was never an issue here. Through every stage, from infancy to pre-K counts to RAP programs before and after school, our children have been through those. And the consistency of seeing the same faces and the same people, and day in and day out, the same level of care and the same kindness and openness that you get in all those environments. I don't think you get that anywhere else. I think one of my favorite memories and how it applies today to CDC was in having my oldest stepdaughter in here when she was like 8 years old, and she's 19 now. But I remember walking into class to pick her up after school, and they were playing with dry ice and some science experiments, and she was very interested, and she was involved, and she was reaching in there and experimenting with whatever it was, and simple machines, light switches, I remember those kinds of things. And it so fascinated her, and that really was kind of her little thing, and so much that she eventually went to, or is currently rather, in Georgia Tech for bioengineering. And I think she looks back on those, we certainly look back on those as pretty cool memories.
And I think that CDC has definitely given them great study habits that we didn't have to do.
All we had to do is reinforce them.
Right.
So But not only that, but there's a diversity of kids here that reflects our community's diversity of children, and so it's a realistic example of getting along with kids that are different than you, getting along with kids that are different schools, as you said earlier, that you're getting those early life skills you can't get. We can't give those to them, and so I think that's what was important to us. I want to say that of just how appreciative I am of CDC and all the programs that our families had the unique opportunity to be a part of for so long. Right. I couldn't be more grateful to anyone. You know?
And we couldn't have done it without CDC. I
right.
could not, as a single parent
I
at one
have
time,
either.
I could not have made it. And to not have to, you're so concerned about so many other things, your own job, your own finances, and your children at the time, to be concerned about them for the 8 hours that they're here, or the 2 hours before school, 3 hours after school.
Right.
To have that peace of mind, knowing they're safe, knowing they're learning, and that they're not just learning educationally, but behavioral and emotional issues.
Social issues.
Social issues. You can't, there's no price to put on that.
Give it a try. I would say just give it a try and see what you think. I think that you'll be surprised. And you'll be moved, by the team and the community that's here.